Okay. I want you to take a deck. Yeah, that's right. Take a card from the deck. Show them what it is, but don't show me. Did they see it? Uh-huh. Okay, now put it back in. All right. Is this your card? Uh-uh. Okay, is this your card? Uh-uh. All right, what about this one? You picked up two. Oh, sorry. This one? Uh-uh. All right, what about this one? Not even close. You're just going up the deck 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you sure you shuffled it well? Wah! And now for my next trick. I will rob a bank. What? This is Movie Mondays. Everyone has their film or set of films where most people didn't enjoy them, or they had mixed reviews or even negative reviews, but you like them anyway. They're like your guilty pleasure films. And for me, those guilty pleasure films are the Now You See Me movies. Created around a group of magicians robbing banks and safes, exposing supposedly corrupt companies, and saving the world from lying rich people, I think? There's also a ton of stuff going on that leaves more questions than answers, but the effects are a ton of fun to watch. Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson are in it, and I'm a bit partial to that because the first R-rated movie I ever saw was Zombieland. And their characters in these films have a similar dynamic to Columbus and Tallahassee, which I enjoy immensely. Also, the other Horsemen are fun to watch. The incompetence of the FBI is unrealistic, but somewhat hilarious. And you got Morgan Freeman being Morgan Freeman, which pretty much speaks for itself. Also, I might be a bit biased towards Mark Ruffalo. I mean, look at that fluff. Look at it. Why does he always play characters that so desperately need a hug? He's like a disgruntled teddy bear that's been sitting on the toy shelves for too long, and all he wants is a little bit of affection. So I'm well aware that these films can be considered stupid fun, and I don't mind that. If every movie was mind-numbing and questioned our outlook and philosophies on life, then we'd probably all be in straitjackets. And it's not like that these movies have done that poorly either. Their box office revenue is good, despite the mixed reactions. But, that's nothing out of the ordinary. So here's the real question. What is going on? I mean, seriously. Because to explain this series, I did some really extensive research, and the most on production I could find came from Wikipedia. Wikipedia! How is it that Wikipedia knows more about this franchise than any other site? What is going on? Well, let's look at what I did manage to uncover once I weed through all of the hundreds of reviews on these movies. Seriously, about 80% of this search were reviews, and the other 29% were trailers and advertisements for the films. That leaves roughly around 1% of actual information. Of course, those numbers I just estimated based on what I saw when I Googled the title, and then added production and background and history, so I tried to narrow this down as well as I could, and this is what I got. As for the actual filmmaking or storyboard process, we barely know much about that, except that in the first one, Isla Fisher nearly drowned in that tank scene at the beginning, and that she isn't in the second movie because she is pregnant. I think. Don't take my word for that. And the other thing we know is that the tricks in the movies were created and assisted by real magicians. In the first movie, David Kwong assisted on the tricks, and in the second one was... Wait, am I reading that right? Does that say David Copperfield? I have so many questions. And the only... Wait. Does it feel darker in here now? Abracadabra, we changed the lighting. Okay, so it does make sense to get real magicians to help you out on your magic acts in the film to make them realistic. But one of the main complaints about these films is that the tricks that are being shown seem pretty much impossible, even by magic standards. The second major complaint is that the plot is everywhere. And even after the second one, we still seem to have no clear answers as to what on earth is going on. Who is the Eye? What is their purpose? Why did it take the Horsemen a whole movie to get in while the Henley replacement only took like 5 minutes? Why is Morgan Freeman the good bad guy? If the Eye's been around since Egyptian times, why is it that they seem to be getting noticed just now? Why would the Horsemen still agree to go along with these things when they still have no idea who they are working for or why they are doing it? Needless to say, there's a lot of plot holes, and I'm sure that CinemaSins does a better job pointing them out than I do. The only character I feel emotionally invested in is Ruffalo's character. He has motive, he has depth, and his story is elaborated more in the second film, which is what the film does best at, compared to the rest of whatever is going on in the second one. Poor Ruffalo. He seriously needs a hug. Someone give him a hug. All the hugs. So after that research, I could only find 3 substantial things. 2 of which I've already mentioned, Isla Fisher's involvement, or lack thereof in the second film, and the use of the real magicians in production. And the third thing is, almost immediately after the first one was released, there was an announcement that 2 more would be made. Wait a minute. 2 more? There's gonna be a third one? What is happening? Okay. So, now that we're all filled with too many questions to bear, allow me to try and explain this. Based on what I have found and my own response from seeing both of the films, I'm going to suggest that the Now You See Me series is just a giant magic trick placed onto a movie theater screen. Does that sound totally ridiculous? You know, just bear with me for a little longer on this. Just a little longer. First, the use of real magicians. Yeah, that can be done to try and make your magic appear more realistic, but as people have pointed out, most of it still seems pretty unrealistic. The tricks in the movie are like magic shows placed on CGI steroids. They're awesome, don't get me wrong. I think they're awesome, but they just seem a tad implausible. Second, the fact that there is nearly no clear explanation as to what is happening with the Eye. Okay, so that could be bad writing, and the Eye could be like some sort of ex machina thing if you want to think about it poorly. But consider this. What if we don't have all the answers because we aren't supposed to know exactly what is happening? A magician never reveals his secrets, and we are supposedly the audience to this trick. So how would we know what is really going on if we aren't supposed to know? The third thing is kind of nitpicky, but still possible. The sequel for the movie isn't actually called Now You See Me 2. It's Now You See Me, the second act. An act as in a magician's act. And also an act 2 as possibly in Act 2 of the 3 acts the 4 Horsemen did in the first movie. And knowing that there's going to be a third one only cements my theory that this is just a giant magic trick. Each movie is supposed to represent an act. The first one sets up the act. The second one dazzles and makes you feel like you're supposed to be learning something substantial. And if I'm correct, the third one is when you see it all together and blow your mind. Of course, I could be totally wrong on this. I mean, what do I know? I don't even have a degree in filmmaking. But I'm sticking with this theory nonetheless. Once the third one comes out, we'll either help prove or disprove my hypothesis, but as of this moment, in this year, it's entirely possible that a group of real magicians and well-known actors just got together, decided to throw a giant magic trick, and placed it into theaters as their stage. Whatever may happen, it will certainly be interesting to watch. That's it for this Movie Monday. Stay tuned for another one. Hopefully we'll have more exciting or crazy things to talk about. As always, you can subscribe below or check out other playlists below as well from other things that are on this channel. Is this your card? I got it.